Hello, hello, and welcome to DecentraWise Podcast. My name is Pedro,
And I'm
and
Miguel.
and I was with the lights off. First time I started the podcast without switching on the lights, but it's all good, all good.
Yeah, you just ruined my entry, man.
No, just go
And I'm
ahead.
well. Let me try to pick it up. Let me try to pick it up. And I'm Miguel, and you just join us in our mission to decentralize the world wisely.
Wisely, very important. And what can be more wise than today's topic? Token standards.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
What the hell is the standard? You tell me. I
I
have
don't
no
have
idea.
a clue. Let's find out, right?
Okay, so guys, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the melodies. Uh,
I have my usual coffee, as always.
Yeah, I'm still on water. It's because of hangover. I'm always on hangover.
Yeah, yeah, me too. So let's let's go ahead and talk about ERC20, the
Yeah,
first
wait up.
token
What
standard.
is the standard? Wait up, wait up. What is the standard? Why did those guys come up with standards? I thought this was free for all. I could do anything
Well,
that I wanted to. So why did those guys come up with standards?
standards are a way for you to know what functionality you have available in the smart contract, right? Uh, that's why we need to have standards because we can do whatever we want in a smart contract. We can call a transfer function send, for instance, right? But if we don't uh, agree in a token standard, how could some wallet, for instance, know which function to call on each token to send it from A to B,
Yeah, and I
right?
think that's the main point. It's for software to deal with smart contracts because if it was just people, it would be a responsibility to check the smart contract code, check if everything is all right. You could see what functions it has, so that you can just type the functions that you are calling and make the transfer. And if it's not called transfer, it's send or whatever. But a wallet doesn't work that way, for instance. And I'm not just talking about wallets, like any kind of software. It will need to have a very specific interface so that that software can deal with the smart contract in a proper way.
But
Because the software is not like checking. Okay, this is a contract. Let's check the code. Like it's not that clever.
it could be done, but
No,
it would be
yeah,
a hell of a work, right? Because
it would
there
be
is
stupid.
APIs that you can use to parse and see if there is something like transfer or send or whatever,
Yeah,
then that's probably that function.
yeah, but
But
it would be stupid, right?
it would suck, right?
Yeah,
So that's why
and very error prone.
yeah, that's why we need some standards so that software can actually use smart contracts, right? Like
Yeah, and
wallets or
properly
exchanges or
because you want.
gateways or
Yeah,
bridges or whatever, right?
and the thing is, you want to use a smart contract if you are using, for instance, the approve function. You know that you are just doing that operation, and it's not transferring automatically something somewhere else.
And
So
one thing
the
very
the
important is
interface
that
is very well specified in order to have that functionality with those names specifically.
well specified.
Kind of,
Uh,
yes. The
Humans do
and guys,
human
yeah, I know.
all the time.
You guys have to split up the interface definition and the implementation of the interface. So those are two very distinct things. And what we are going to talk about are the interface specifications, and not the implementation of stuff, which usually you can go to OpenZeppelin and check what they did. But that's just an implementation of the standards.
Even that way, the right way to do it is to go to Ethereum improvement proposals, right? And check the IPs, because those are the ones that create the ERC versions, right? And those usually propose codes and everything, right? Exactly because of that, because humans do human all the time. And we learned the hard way that if you leave something open in a standard, people will
mess it up.
understand it in different ways and implement it in different ways, even with the standard, right?
So what they try to do in the standards, they try to give some flexibility to the implementation, but still restrict the functionality as much as they can, so that people don't mess up. It's quite a balance there.
We have stable coins that don't throw in case of transfer errors, and others that throw, and so on. So
there's a difference, and I think that's mostly the difference in ERC20 is that on the transfer, some throw and others just return the Boolean value,
false.
Saying that it was not successful. So I think that's kind of
that's an example of a standard that is not closed enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So and this origins many problems, and that's why we need safe transfer, for instance, and so on. So
okay, we are jumping already on the ERC20.
Of course.
So let's go dive into what the hell is ERC20.
Let's talk about ERC20s now. Miguel.
Well, what the hell is an ERC20? I have no idea.
Of course you don't. ERC20 is the token standard for a fungible token. So fungible is a bad word.
Let's describe what a fungible token is, because it's an ugly word and most people don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's just remove fungible. It's a token. You're done, right?
Yeah.
Fungible means that all parts are equal. So, like dollar bills or euro bills or whatever. If you have $1 bill, you can safely change it for another dollar bill because they are worth the same.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. So you have $1 bill, I have $1 bill, we can swap it and we are just exactly the same. So that's the fungible concept there.
A token is a fungible unit of account, usually, right? So
regular tokens, right? Because NFTs are also tokens. But when we are talking about transferring some coins somewhere, we are talking about fungible tokens.
Exactly. So the difference is that a regular token is fungible, and NFT has to say that it's non-fungible because they are actually non-fungible, right?
Yeah, because let's imagine in the gaming industry. We were talking about a couple of minutes ago about the gaming industry, and you have several items on a game, and magic boots are not the same as regular boots for the hero, right? So they will cost different. No, and they will cost different.
Okay.
They will have different costs. For instance, this is an example.
I don't know because I
So,
never wear the magic.
swapping, yes.
No.
So swapping those won't be the same, because one boot can cost $1, the other boot can cost $5, and if you swap it, you don't get the same thing. So that's the non-fungible example that I come up to my head right now.
I was doing a walk in the nature back a
Yeah,
few
but
hours ago, and I
you
could
didn't
use
have.
magic boots.
Yeah, you didn't
Because
have
it
one,
would
but
be
yeah, so you would pay
would be
$5
cool.
for magic boots, but you had regular ones. So it's not the same. Those two different tokens are not equal.
Yeah,
They are not swappable.
exactly. So fungible token is our ERC20 is a fungible token because of that, because all the units are equal, right?
Yeah.
In value, they represent the same, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the standard. What can we get from the standard?
The standard gives us an interface that allows us to own, transfer, uh, do the basic stuff, know what is the circulating supply, the total supply, not the circulating, the total supply, because in this case it's the same, and know the balance that each owner owns of the token, and send it to other owners, and that's it.
Yeah. In the meantime, I do have a few questions for you, because I don't really know the answers. So one of the
Really?
things that, yeah, one of the
Of course you
things
don't.
that comes to my mind is, no, because I'm the dumb guy here. So keep up with me, and we'll get through this.
Well, how
So
can we handle these guys' questions? Let's see.
these are really dumb questions that I'm going to make, but they have some. They have something. There's something in these questions that can be useful. So
Okay.
why are most of the tokens defined with 18 decimals?
No idea. Who is the dumb now?
Because I don't know. It's too many decimals for me. And if I'm managing a token, why the hell do I need 18 decimals? Well, mainly
Let's
because the tokens are really low value. But if they remove the decimals, they would value just the same, because they would require a conversion to whatever token.
let's think about why Ethereum has 18 decimals.
Yeah, why?
Just because they can,
Yeah,
right?
well, they could make 20 or 32. I don't know, but
It's like this.
these
Bitcoin
are the
has 9.
questions. Why so many? Why so many decimal places? And why 18?
Actually, let me check. Bitcoin has 8 decimals, and the unit is the 9th number. So Vitalik, when was deciding to implement the decimals, he maybe thought that probably Ethereum
We
will
are
be
twice as good.
less expensive,
We are twice as
or
good, so we have
more
twice the decimals.
expensive, and we need more decimals to address low values. Because actually it makes sense, right? Because let's think about the value of Bitcoin, right? At 100K or 1 million. If Bitcoin gets to 1 million, you will just have 2 decimals for the unit of dollar. Right?
You lost me there.
It would be impossible to buy things in Bitcoin that cost less than 1 cent.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a possible problem eventually for using Bitcoin in regular micropayments, right?
Yeah.
So Ethereum needs a bigger number because probably when Vitalik and the team were deciding on this stuff, they agreed that probably Ethereum will have a market cap larger than Bitcoin because it's the world computer. It's blah, blah. Now Bitcoin has clearly advantage on that, but Ethereum was made in 2014. So Bitcoin didn't have the store of value idea yet, right? It was just a coin, right? So
they were playing safe.
Yeah, they were just putting a lot of numbers there, and they came up with the 18. God knows why, right?
Because they thought they were twice as good as Bitcoin. So they doubled.
Not twice, it's twice and more, because if it would be twice, it would be 16, right? So
yeah, right. Yeah.
They just just made it.
Okay, they went for 18. That's totally fine. But
and then every other token,
yeah, they went behind.
Don't implement the decimals function, and they are all 18, right?
Yeah,
because they are already implemented in the token standard by OpenZeppelin and some others. So
yeah, and defaults to 18, right?
Yeah.
Probably
people are too lazy to change it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And I mean, from my perspective, it makes the readability much harder when you have a lot of decimals. So yeah, that's the thing, and it wouldn't change the value of the token if you reduce the decimals.
You can always make an expression for that, like 1 to the 18th times whatever.
I'm going to make a proposal to stop people from.
Actually, Ethereum has Solidity language as those helpers, like 1E18 or Ether or whatever. So you can have some more readable numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, let's go.
Well, yeah, let's go to the next one. Okay. Why do we need in OpenZeppelin? Why do we have the ERC20 metadata?
The metadata, that one is hard.
It's that interface that has the name, the decimals, and something else.
Let me check.
And the symbol.
Let me check one thing, because I don't know everything by heart, right? I'm being surprised with questions here.
Oh, yeah.
So, but metadata is already, I think, let me check. The ERC20 contract also has the metadata.
Yeah.
Right.
Why did they split up in OpenZeppelin?
I don't have any idea. Probably because they wanted to create smaller interfaces, and they decided that the metadata is not used by everyone. So They divided it in a different interface, and the contract implements them all. I don't know.
I did have a supposition for that, but it doesn't. It's not that. I thought at first because they would implement the same thing in ERC721, but the metadata is different.
It's different.
And
It's different
I
thing.
thought, well, they are splitting this up because it's the same interface, so that they don't have to rewrite the interface.
And it's a little
that we can just ask the interface they use that. I don't know, but then those interfaces don't match.
And it's a little bit misleading, so that's why you question it probably. But yes, the question is the real answer is I don't know, and the more helpful answer is that probably they didn't want to have a huge interface, and they divided it in several so that people can use it if they really want it. Right?
Okay, I'm good with it. What is the total supply? And I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to say why I'm asking this, because in my view, the total supply should be a fixed number, but it's not.
That depends.
Yeah. In my perspective, when you launch a token, the total supply should be fixed. But you can mint it and you can burn it. So let's go talk a little bit about this. What is the total supply?
That depends on the use case, right? You have tokens that have a fixed supply. So when they are deployed, they mint a certain amount of tokens, and the contract is not mint, doesn't use the mint function. So the mint function is only called in the constructor, and the tokens are sent to some holder, the initial holder, and that initial holder will make somehow the distribution, and that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have tokens that are mintable and are claimable, for instance, from initial holders that have some kind of white listing or something like that. So you never know how many will claim, right? Because some people might be eligible to claim airdrops, but they forget, right? I've done it many times. And then I want to slap myself in the face when stuff goes bananas. But that happens. Shit happens, and crypto is so has always a lot happening. We cannot follow everything, right? It's impossible. And you have also tokens that have inflation, right? And inflated tokens or tokens with inflation, they don't have a fixed total supply, right? They will be minted every time some event happens or something like that, right? So there are many use cases for tokens, so it doesn't make sense to have a fixed supply in a token. It can change. That's why we have a mint function or an underscore mint function that is not part of the standard, but we can actually export it if we want, for people to be able to mint, or to owners be able to mint it, or whatever, right?
Yeah, well, I would figure that when you do something like that, you would have different pools, and for instance, the inflation would come from a specific pool, and airdrops would come from another pool. But you would create all the pools when you create the token. So that was my supposition.
Yeah, you can do it, but you don't have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the standard is able to account for the supply for you. So, uh, and actually, it makes more sense because, for instance, if you go to a token in Etherscan or something like that, and you see that it has 1 gazillion tokens, you will understand that, yeah, probably each token is not that expensive. And then you go to the market cap, and it's $1 gazillion, and the market cap is based, or the fully diluted market cap is huge, but 99% of the token is not circulating.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very big problem, right? Because, for instance, they minted a bunch of tokens, but they
Yeah.
only have 1% circulating, so that people are trading 1%, and they are valuing a token in $1 or $2 or $100,
Yeah.
and then the total supply goes to a number that you cannot understand, right? And that is one problem that we are having now with exploiting that reality. That's why sites started to show the fully diluted market cap everywhere and so on, because people were playing with mathematics there, and they are still doing shit like that, right?
Mm.
So they launch a token with a very small circulating supply on exchanges, so people that start trading it and having uh, outrageous demand for it,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a very small supply, and then they rug pull everybody because they just put out the other tokens when they can, and everybody, they play the central bank scam, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the also the problem with minting, right? You can mint whenever you want.
That's why it's important to check the contracts whenever you want to use certain projects or certain tokens. Go. That's why there is a Etherscan contract tab that you can see the source. And all never trust a token that the source is not verified,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's not there. Because if it is not there, it's probably not in your own interest.
Yeah, it's because they want to hide something.
Yeah. Because tokens are standard. So there's no
Well, we are talking about serious
intellectual
projects.
property around that shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we want to. We are talking about serious projects, no, not if you're putting your little game online so that you can play yourself with your smart contract. Well, you don't need to put it there, but if it's some financial thing, it's if it's something that may take your
If
tokens
it's
out, yeah,
if
be
it is
aware
to
of
be
that.
used by others, you have to put it
Yeah,
every time, because there's no reason for you not to. And there's a saying in crypto: don't trust, verify. And that's
yeah,
the way we verify smart contracts, is going there and inspecting the code. And if you cannot do it yourself, ask someone that can
yeah. Probably
inspect the
somebody
code for you
already did.
and tell you what it does,
Mhm.
right?
Okay, I'm good with it. Let's go to another question. So, how does it work, the transfer delegation? By delegation, I mean because you don't have to transfer stuff yourself. You can allow a third party to make a transfer on your behalf. So how does that play out?
The idea is that sometimes you don't have to be in control or in strict control of your own money, like in your bank account.
What?
Right?
I'm not in control of my own money? What the hell?
No, in your bank account, you are never in control
No,
of
not
your
in
own
my
money.
bank account, but we are talking about blockchain. It's my
But
funds. How?
but
What are you talking about?
but there is something useful in not being in total control of your funds, because, for instance, when you receive your electrical bill and you allow the bank to pay it for you, you never miss the payment deadline, right? That's cool. And that's something people like, right? For their scheduled payments to be done automatically. I don't, but I am an old guy, and I've experienced so many shit banks did in the past with
Oh yeah.
direct payments that I don't use them. Maybe because we are a bananas country here, but I don't like that. But anyway, people do like it sometimes, and that's a functionality that it would be impossible to do in blockchain, right? Because in blockchain you are in control of your own funds all the time. So the ERC20 standard, implements a way for you to delegate a certain amount to be possible to control by an external account, right? So you say, okay, I have 10 Ethereum in my account, and I allow Miguel to use one. And then Miguel tries to use two, and it won't allow him, because I didn't allow him to use two, but he might use half an Ethereum one time and another half next day. That's it.
Yeah. So
the way to do it is I approve Miguel's account to control a certain amount of my balance if they want, not that they have to, right? And they use transfer from my account anywhere. Can be to their account, can be to
or
another
to some other account,
third party, or whatever, right?
Yeah, and that is quite useful if you have a managing system that is making the transfers from one entity to another. So we are talking about 3 different entities, and you have this manager entity that may transfer some tokens from one account to another. So yeah, and it's not like only two parties, like me and Pedro, that Pedro allows me to make a transfer to me. It's a third party that Pedro allows that third party to transfer from his wallet to mine.
Yeah.
So this allows this triangle.
Allows a multitude of use cases. It can be third parties doing mediation. It can be many things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm done with questions with ERC20.
Okay, I think we are done with the ERC20's most exquisite stuff. And now we are moving on to ERC721. What is ERC721?
What the hell is an ERC721? I don't know what is a ERC721. I don't know to know.
It's a non-fungible token implementation.
What's fungible? I don't
standard.
know what fungible is. Again, that
Not
word, I don't know
again.
what fungible is.
Not again.
Okay, guys, you guys can move the video a little bit. You guys can rewind it and see what fungible and non-fungible is. So this is non-fungible tokens, NFTs. What the hell is an NFT?
An NFT is a token standard, or it's a token that represents, each unit of it represents a different thing. It's non-fungible, right? That's the meaning of non-fungible tokens. Fungible tokens, like dollars, it doesn't matter which dollar you have, as long as you have $1, you have something that is worth $1. Doesn't mean that if it's this dollar bill or that one, right? It's the same thing. And in non-fungible tokens, it's not like that. Mona Lisa is different from Picasso.
Yeah.
Right. So, and this is not just for art or for those use cases.
Yeah, but
that we
I
see
think
already.
it's the easy. I think it's the easy use case. Is that, for instance, you can have the Michelangelo collection. You can have the Picasso collection, and in the Picasso collection, the different paintings will have different values, so they are not fungible. You cannot swap them around, and everything will be just the same.
You can see it like if you have an NFT contract that represents ownership of houses, my house is different from Miguel's house. It's not the same thing.
Yeah,
mine is bigger. He's more expensive. So it's different. It's in different places. So.
Yeah, imagine tokenizing a real life asset like a house, right? You can I can make an NFT for my house. Pedro can make an NFT for his house, and the market attributes it a value, or you attribute a value to your NFT, and they will have different values and
different characteristics.
For the tokens. So swapping those, you won't get in the same state like with the fungible token, that I can give a dollar bill to Pedro, and Pedro gives me a dollar bill, and everything is exactly the same. So with NFTs, that doesn't happen.
Exactly. So this is the most important difference, and that's exactly why they created the standard in the first place, right? To represent tokens that are different.
Why are they creating standards? I don't get it. Yeah, once again, because I don't know, maybe markets want to have a standard interface to communicate with, to get stuff and to operate with the NFTs.
And
so
wallets,
again, it's software. When we are talking about software, the software requires a specific interface in order to communicate with the contract. So that's why they come up with the contracts. It's not like a living person checking, let's check the code for this NFT, and okay, I think it's this function that I need to call with these parameters. No, it's the software doesn't work that way. Software has to be very well defined. So it requires standards. ERC721 is another standard, again, for the NFTs. And I do have questions and doubts about NFTs, about the ERC721.
Let's go.
The first one is, why the safe transfers?
Well,
shouldn't
let's
the
go
regular
back.
transfer be enough?
That goes back to the ERC20 specification
why
as well.
Don't ERC20 doesn't have a safe transfer?
That is one reason why, if a standard is not closed enough, humans do human shit, And
Yeah.
in this case, when the standards of tokens, generic, the first one, the ERC20 token, whatever, they left one problem open, which is the ERC20 token assumes that every account is an EOA, externally owned accounts, or controllable by a private key, right? That's usually the wallet accounts are like that, but there are smart contracts, and smart contracts are also accounts, and those accounts don't have a private key that you can use to move shit in the blockchain or in the tokens that you define. So what had the problem that we had in the past is that gazillion billions of dollars got stuck in smart contracts, right? Because people do shitty stuff. They send tokens where they are not meant to be sent. For instance, to smart contracts that don't have a wipe function to clean up the tokens that they received, and they are stuck there forever, right? This is one problem, and this would also apply to NFTs and to all other shit. So since the ERC721 is a much later standard, it already includes those and specifically addresses that functionality of identifying if the receiver is able to receive NFTs, so that they don't get stuck in contracts that they don't implement the interface to receive them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this exists also to ERC20s if we want to implement ERC20s in a safe way. But it's non-standard. Right?
So, okay. So exactly what is the difference between the transfer and the safe transfers?
They will check the safe transfer will check if the receiver is a smart contract. And if it is a smart contract, it will check if that smart contract implements the interface, the receiver interface of that specific standard. If they do, then they will allow the send to proceed.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it will fail.
Okay,
Beautiful.
Sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds very useful.
It is very useful, but the implementation of this, since the standard is so open, sucks. But anyway, that's natural, because we can never think of every detail
Yeah, and I think most
in the
of it
beginning.
it's because of backwards compatibility, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so another question that I have is bulk token management. How and why do we have bulk token management in NFTs?
Because sometimes you want to give access to all to an entire collection. Like, for instance, in OpenSea, right? You create a collection and you want to put it all on sale. That's usually the use case for that, right? You want to make gazillion billions of dollars with your NFT collection, maybe 2 Ethereum or 0.0005. You never know, right? So you want to put it all for sale, and in order to do that, if we would have a million NFTs collection, it would require a million transactions to approve all of them or to enable them to be traded. And that would represent that in order for you to get rich, you would get broke first, right? So that's why.
Okay, so you just do an operation for a lot of your tokens in a single function. So
in a single
that makes sense.
Transaction, and that's it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the other question is, how do we make NFT enumeration?
Well, by default, the NFT token standard doesn't allow us to enumerate all the NFTs in a smart contract. So you would have to go each piece by piece, asking who is the owner and so on, right? So NFT enumeration allows us for that. So we can use the blockchain to kind of index our own collection so that we can have a very basic enumeration of the tokens. That's it. Don't think that NFT enumeration solves all the problems. It doesn't. It's not meant to. It's just a simpler way to get access to all the collection, and probably for front ends to not have to have a backend to index, to have just a simple index of stuff. But if you want to implement a real marketplace, it won't solve your problems. We will have to have them anyway.
It kind of seems pretty basic, and why is it not in the base standard? It kind of
because it is not needed for the most basic use case, and that's probably why. It's extra code, and if you don't need to know which several tokens someone wants, someone needs, someone has, then you don't have to use that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy with the ERC721. I have no further questions.
Okay, so moving on. Now we are going to address ERC1155s. Let's go.
What the hell is an ERC1155? I don't know what that is.
It's an ERC that has 2 1s and 2 5s.
Why do they make standards like that?
I think it's. I think I like it. I think it's a nice number. It's easy to say 1155. If I would have to say 1155, then it would suck.
Why not 1111? It would be easier.
Maybe there is an ERC 1111. I'll never check it.
We need to explore that. We need to explore further.
I think if there is an 1155, there should be an 1111 because they are in sequential order. Might be deprecated.
Yeah. We need to search for that.
Let's see.
Okay, so what is the purpose of ERC 1155? Checking 1111?
Of course. And there is one.
You found it?
There is.
I didn't.
An 1111, also known as the Red T protocol. Done with it. With this name, I'm never inspecting what it does. Okay.
Red tea. Okay. Yeah, we need to check that out.
Seriously, 1155, the ERC is get ERC20s, ERC721s, mix them, and you have 1155s.
Just like that? Just like...
Yeah.
That
Now we're done.
that's kind of crazy.
Now, the idea is that there are use cases for you to have a mixed bag of tokens, right? Fungible tokens and non-fungible tokens. And if you have to deploy a smart contract to each class of tokens that you create, for instance, let's imagine a game, for instance. You have 100 types of coins in your game. You have 1,000 collections of 100 items each, right? That would represent in the old standards, the ERC20s and the ERC721s, that would represent 1,000 ERC721 contract deployments and 100 ERC20s for all the coins, right? And that is expensive.
Yeah. So you would have to deploy one contract by each NFT collection.
Yeah, because you cannot
one
mix
ERC20 contract for each fungible
exactly
token that you would have.
Right. So you could not mix in the same contract everything, right? And that's what 1155 brings to the table, is that you can now in the same contract mint NFTs, fungible tokens, and a mix of the two, which is the semi-fungible, which is
that is crazy. I can't even conceptualize that.
Let's think of an example. Our houses, again, right? I create an NFT collection, an NFT. I tokenize my house, and you want to also tokenize your house. So we can put a contract on the Ethereum blockchain that tokenizes houses, and each owner of the house can go there and mint one NFT that has 1 million copies. So the ownership of each of our houses, for instance, my house has 1 million copies of that NFT, or a million units of that NFT. So the ownership of my house would be shared among those people, right? That own those tokens. Initially, I could sell those tokens to other people, and they would have parts of the ownership with me, and then they start trading it, and they think that my house gets more value, and so on. So those units are fungible between each other, but they are connected to a non-fungible item.
Okay, right? Let me see if I got this right. It's very similar to have a company's stock options, stocks. Sorry. So your company would be the NFT, and then the stocks would be the fungible tokens inside the NFT. Something like that.
Could be something like that, and the contract could be a stock market, an entire stock market.
Yeah, I see.
right?
Yeah. I get it.
So there would be an owner, which is the SEC, that approves the listings, right? And by approving a listing of a stock, they would mint the initial supply and send it to the respective owners, or they would allow those owners to do that transaction, because usually governing bodies don't like to have much work, right? They just delegate the work to others. They just want the money, right? So you pay $1 billion, and they are happy and they approve, and then you do the job.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, okay, I think I'm clear with that. Okay, so do the tokens have to comply to the same code? I mean, if you put this contract, do all the tokens that you create need to comply with this code, or you can somehow, okay, you will function this way. This token will function this way.
There's always a level of explicit behavior of each token. Only a very basic use case doesn't implement anything besides the standard, right? So usually you have some kind of workflow for minting and burning and doing all those things. So whether you implemented it with using an 1155 or a 721 or an ERC20, you will have to have those workflows addressed, and this is not different. The only difference is that fungible tokens in an 1155 are not the same thing as ERC20s, right?
Yeah.
They are not interchangeable. You have to use wallets that are you or that know the 1155 standard.
It's more specific, right?
To allow to transfer those tokens, and actually the 1155 is not meant to be a public token anyway, right? It's more for use cases like we talked about gaming or tokenization of real world assets, for instance, which is a big thing today, or any specific use case. It's not a standard like for using tokens for stable coins or whatever, right? So
Okay.
that's why the standard doesn't implement too much functions, right?
Yeah, well, it's really small. Yeah.
Really small. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm cool with it.
So basically,
the other question that I had was
basically the difference in the 1155 and the 721 is that each ID corresponds to a number of tokens that we can define when minting, right? So if you want to define an NFT, you will have a value of 1, which is each token is represented by a single unit. That's it, right? If you want to define more, you can, right?
Yeah, I see.
Easy.
Okay, I think I'm happy with it. The other question that I had was if this contract supports both fungible and non-fungible at the same time, which you already answered before. I don't have any other questions about this.
Okay, perfect. So I think we are done with this deep dive and under the pressure questionnaire of about
I tried to put you against the wall, But
And that's this is actually cool because I really think that most of these questions are not addressed anywhere, right? And that's why we decided to make this episodes, and I found it would be interesting for Miguel to prepare questions for me and not get access to those questions beforehand, so I could be in a little bit pressure like situation.
But it was fun, and it doesn't matter that you don't have the answers for everything, because like
I don't pretend.
What the
I
hell?
don't pretend to be.
Why the hell do they put 18 decimal places? Why
a
did
genius.
they come up with this number?
This is nobody knows everything all the time, so I'm okay with that. I've lived enough to know that I know what I know. I don't care, and I am always willing to learn, and that's the most important thing, right? So
that's one thing that I still need to ask, but this time to our listeners, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also share this video with your friends. Your friends will really enjoy.
I think everyone already.
It's a gift. It's a gift that you give to your friends.
I think the entire internet already subscribed to our channel.
Yeah, we only have like about 500 people subscribed, because YouTube looked.
They are tricking us. YouTube is just showing us our neighbors or something like that.
No, the number overflowed. You never saw that. You never saw that in YouTube. But there was an overflow in the YouTube counter, and we are again.
We were actually the first channel to have 1 billion subscribers, and it just broke the entire infrastructure,
and they just started again from zero. We are again almost at 500.
It wasn't Mr. Beast. It was us. Yeah.
That guy sucks. But guys, help us to reach the 500 step, and also like and subscribe, share, get to us in our social media. You can ask us questions there. You can also ask questions in the comments of this video.
We are here to make your life easier than ours.
Yep, exactly.
So use it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I think we're done. Do you have
guys? We are trying to make shorter podcasts.
But it's kind of impossible.
More.
We need to be a little
to the
bit
point.
More precise, but not easy, guys. Not easy.
And we will be using timestamps in our podcasts from now on, and we will be making cuts of our podcasts by subject and put out there as well, so that you can just listen to the topics that you enjoy.
Let us know. Let us know what you think about it. How did you receive this content today? And
I think we will be sharing a lot more stuff from with this idea, and more digestible for everyone as well. So let's experiment with that. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed, and don't forget that you just joined our mission to decentralize the world.
Wisely, guys. Wisely.
And see you in the next episode, guys. Cheers.
See you in the next one.
Bye-bye.